Hi everybody, it's Julianne Lee from Adored Beast Apothecary, and I want to talk to you about a few things. One is grading, one is sourcing, and one is our formulation. So grading, we all hear, is it human grade? I get that lots. Is your product human grade? Well, it is human grade, but in my opinion, there's lots of different grades besides that fall into the category of human grade. So there's pet grade, which is not consumable for people, as disgusting as that is. Then there's human grade, which you probably would find in big box stores, drugstores, department stores, things like that. Then I have another little grade that I called health food store grades. And health food store grade is, I just think, one step up, because usually the owners are passionate about health. They want to make sure that they're selling the quality that they want to sell. They're much more diligent about looking into, is it ethical? How is it sourced? Is it synthetic? Is it whole? Things like that. So I believe that there's a health food grade, which is far better than just human grade. But then I think there's one step up, which is called a professional grade. Professional grades often are made by companies called compounding companies. And the reason that they call compounding companies is because they're not their formulations. They make formulations for professionals like doctors, homeopaths, naturopaths, chiropractors, things like that, professional people that have their own formulations. So that's what all the Adored Beast Apothecary products are made in. They're made in a compounding company that only does formulations for professionals who are anal about what's going in their product. I have to tell you that it was difficult. So I'm going to talk to you now a little bit about sourcing and how I was so excited to do this after years of my working with these formulations. And I was so disillusioned. I was so just what my prof used to say is gobstruck about how terrible the quality and how there's so many untruths. Like made in Canada is made in Canada or made in the US, but that's because it was boxed there or was taken and it was sourced all over in terrible places, and then it was mixed together in Canada and made in Canada. Labeling and semantics, and it was terrible. And it took me forever to find a company that I felt comfortable talking to. I drove my partners nuts, and because I took so long, and I want to thank them right now. I want if they're watching this that they stuck by me, because I found a company that I could walk up to the owner of that company or the person that was in charge of my formulations and ask them any single question I possibly wanted to, whether it sounded absolutely anal and crazy. I didn't care. And if I didn't get the right answer, they would make sure that I found the right answer, that I found the formulations, or not formulations, but I found the ingredients and sourced where I wanted to get them, rather than some gigantic, huge company where you're asking somebody and it's going through 1,000 different people before it gets back to you. And by the time it gets back to you, it doesn't even make any sense. So I wanted to make sure that I could see the certificate of analysis of every single solitary ingredient. And you hear lots about China. Well, the unfortunate, really sad thing is that Big Pharma has bought up so much of our nutraceuticals and our herbs. And sometimes you can only get things from China. And I am so not ashamed to say that, because I know that there's products that are said that they're made in the US, or they're, like I said, and made in Canada, and they're not. They're put together here, but they're coming from places and industries that they don't even have certificate of analysis. So long as you're going and you're actually looking at the company and making sure how it's made, who's making them, what kind of even what kind of people are making them, who they hire, the way they treat their staff of their company. I was ridiculous about putting this together. So I feel like from a sourcing point of view, you can't just say it's made in Canada, it's this, it's that. It's a very long, drawn out process that we have done our due diligence with, and not just due diligence with when we started the company, but because holistic products and the holistic field is growing exponentially, it changes constantly. So one minute you could get a product from one place or an ingredient from one place, and the next minute it's gone. It's been bought up by a multi-billion-dollar industry and you can no longer get it there. So what we've done is once we find a source that we love, we will buy it in the amount that it could actually be stored in the company that actually puts it and compounds it for us together, so that we know that every single time it's done with the quality of ingredients that we want. Now, the next part of this is our formulations, and where did they come from? Well, we didn't just pull them out of a hat. We just didn't jump on the holistic natural train that is bombing down the track, that everybody's jumping on, saying that they're making a product when they haven't even really been in the industry. And I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but the formulations that Adored Beast Apothecary have grown from are blood, sweat, and tears of not only myself, but the amazing clients and their animals that I had the honor of being able to work for and tweak formulations and see what works in one dog and what doesn't work in another dog, and what works in cats and what doesn't, and how the two of them together, how it forms. I had clients that stood by me, and when I said, I don't know, can we just try this with it instead? I had the most, I don't know, I always said I had an angel on my shoulder, and that angel was all the 20 years of my clients and my patients and the amazing animals that I was able to work with these formulas in my vet clinic, to know that they're safe, to know that they work, to know that I can stand behind them and guarantee them, and feel really proud of what they're going to do for your animal. So I hope that's answered some questions. It's a kind of a touchy subject, and I'm sorry if I've offended any other companies out there. That wasn't my intention, but I'm pretty passionate about my products, and I've worked really hard, and it's really important to me. So thank you for listening.